You got it. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm excited to hear about all the jobs because my husband is still living downstate and I'm up here. So that excites me. Some prospects there. Today I'm here really to talk about an event that we're having in TCAPS. We kind of wrote to the governor and talked about our Simon-Tech program within TCAPS at TC Central. And they were looking for innovative programs to come and see and find out a little bit about different ways we're innovating and offering education opportunities to students throughout the state. They are actually coming on January 5th, this Thursday, and from 4 to 5:30, we'll actually be meeting in the beginning in the auditorium, but we'll end actually in the library. And they're going to have tables set up to kind of get your input on what you think the 21st century education should look like in Michigan. You've heard a lot of information on where education started, and we used to be at the top of our game in Michigan and where we are now, and their goal is to actually get input from community members and all over the state and find out about what is important to you to see in the education of your children in Michigan. So there are actually 150 spots on their listening tour. And this is actually the link to be able to sign up for the spots. I was excited to be on this venue tonight simply because my background in my area is STEM education. I taught engineering and architecture and am a recovering robotics coach, much like Philip. And I taught in Farmington for 15 years, so that was my background. So certainly my interest is getting more STEM education into the public school systems and Traverse City as a region. Very important that our students have exposure to that. One of the reasons I actually moved up here was I was looking at the programs my nieces had available to them in TC, and kind of comparing that to what kind of programs we were delivering in Farmington. And I wanted to make sure that students throughout the state are getting the same opportunities that the large school districts in Metro Detroit are getting and have the same opportunities up here. Our Simon-Tech, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our Simon-Tech program if you don't know much about it. It is designed to actually inspire students to go through an integrated, individualized experience where the students are actually able to basically dive into their interest area in STEM, whether it's the medical field, whether it's civil engineering, whether it's architecture and design, whether it's manufacturing. And they're able to actually design and develop programs and projects by the time they're a senior that actually, and I'm going to show you some examples of that, that push their interest in that STEM field, okay? And so the Simon-Tech program is very rigorous. Students who enter the program have to apply to the program to get in, currently as it stands right now. They take advanced math, science classes, as well as an integrated technology portion. It's application-based, it's highly competitive program, project-based learning, unique classes. So the classes aren't just your standard core classes that you take, but they have that component of that technology in there that actually ties the classes together, where the students design and build something in their interest area in many of the classes. Students apply as 8th grade students to get in. It's a 4-year program, so once you're in the program, you stay all 4 years. I have a great example of a project that this is one of the projects that's going on right now that the Education Commission will be seeing. And Cooper Nordine, he's 16, and it was this project was actually spurred on from his symposium projects that he developed last year. And basically what he designed was he was able to take his interest area, and he's designed an automated aquaponics way to take nutrients. They actually got fish from a stream or a river and got approval for that. So they got all the approvals for that. And their goal was to take the waste from the fish to create nutrients to actually grow plants without using basically just aquaponics and water. So he used the principles of STEM in planning, engineering, design, revision, construction. He designed and built the whole base for the platform of this project. He thought about how he was going to be able to regulate what was going on with the waters, and then was able to actually do a program so he could actually test to make sure things were doing what they were supposed to do. Here is an example of basically the program, what you would take as a 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 12th grader. But my goal is certainly to invite you to come to the Education Commission. This group is really into technology and STEM, and I really think that your voice at the table is needed. So, thank you. Any questions? Questions? Yes.
So what happens with the projects? Do they take them to competition? Are they used for college admission? Does anyone see them?
So they usually have a symposium, and the symposium is usually held at the Haggerty Center every year, so there is like a display of their projects. But what we're finding is that that is done in 10th grade when the students do that. And so the goal is to actually develop those into these senior design projects, right? And how can we get them to take that from the infancy that they see when they're just beginning to learn about the design process? And how do you take that through to a design, build, feature, and do the problem solving behind it? So this project has not been on display yet. It will probably be on display at the symposium as, you know, one of those senior design projects, or basically an advanced level design projects for the public to see. But this one currently is not on display anywhere. He's still in the process of building it. So we also had a student in there, and it just gives a vast array of how different the choices in the engineering and computer science field the students have. We had a student design and build the web app for TC Central. So part of his project, he was interested in that side of it. So we have a web app coming out for TC Central that was all student designed. So, yes?
I just want to back Heidi out. Both my daughters are in this program, outstanding program. If you could go to the symposium, you'll see incredible stuff done by very young kids. If you could go to the Century thing coming up on Thursday and support you, if you guys got kids in high school, if we can support that and expand this program, highly valuable. Kudos to Heidi.
Thanks. Yes?
Could you put, maybe back up to the slide with the link for those who want to sign up?
Nope, and I don't know if you guys can get to that online. Any other questions? Yes?
How many students are taking advantage of the program?
So each year, it depends on the size, and one of my goal areas actually is to increase the enrollment in the Simultech program. They're limited by cohorts, because the students actually travel in cohorts. So right now, 33 students are able to sign up for the Simultech program each year as 8th graders. So in my mind, I think there's far more than 33 students that would want to pursue a career in STEM, and so the goal is to double that. So how can we get 66 students into that and allow some more flexibility between classes and how students rotate in and out. So right now, 33 per class.
And is that limited by students applying or by the teachers available?
It is, it's a numbers game. A lot of it is a numbers game in public education because of the cost. So if we have a full class, so that's why you see that 33 number. So if I had 66, I could offer it to 66. If I have 38 to 40, I can only offer 33 spots. So it's just based on, you know, the dollar amount that we get, and we have to make sure the seats are filled. But in my mind, throughout, you know, TCAPS, there's got to be 66 kids that are interested in pursuing a career in STEM. The opportunities are wide open. So yes.
How many kids apply versus how many approved?
I am told, like I said, this is only I'm going into my second year here, but it varies by year. So some years they will get 55, 60 applicants, and they did do a double, I think, a few years back. But typically, probably 40, 45 kids, maybe. So if we can bump that a little bit more, we can.
How is this different than what MTA is doing?
Well, that's a good question. So MTA has an excellent program. The difference between this program and the MTA program is that our students are also taking AP courses at the high school. So a student who's taking MTA, they need to take 3 hours out of their day to go to the MTA classes. So there's a lot of students that can't afford that time in the day to be able to take their music, to stay in their STEM and their Scimatech, and take their AP classes. So really, we're looking at two different groups of students. So a kid who can afford to take 3 hours a day and go to the tech center versus a student who also has some other things they want to participate in at the high school. So very similar in programming. It's about design, going through the design process, building, changing how we're teaching, so how the student is actually facilitating the learning instead of the teacher actually sit and giving the information. So that project-based learning, students, teacher facilitating, student actually doing the project-based learning. So very similar but different format.
The key being is programming, because both my daughters are music and foreign language, and it's very difficult to program. To go to MTA would be almost impossible to pull that off. So having it in the local schools is key, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Yep.